Mr. Speaker, I also rise today to provide an update to this Honourable House on one of the most consequential undertakings now shaping Bermuda's future, the renewal of our national electricity sector policy. This policy is pivotal to the reform of our electricity sector and is intended to serve as a clear beacon, illuminating the pathway towards our energy future that is affordable, secure, resilient, environmentally responsible, and firmly aligned with the needs and aspirations of Bermuda's resident and tax ratepayers. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry has advanced an updated national electricity sector policy, the first comprehensive revision since 2015. This renewed policy sets out the government's strategic direction for the electricity sector and is expressly designed to fully integrate into the Integrated Resource Plan, ensuring that it does not sit itself on a shelf, but instead meaningfully guides the decisions that will shape Bermuda's energy future. Mr. Speaker, while the essentials of life were once listed as food, water, and shelter, today, electricity, telecommunication, and access to information are also essential. These utilities are the threads that bind our families, our economy, and our democracy. Access must be equitable. Mr. Speaker, in an increasingly digital world, electricity is no longer a luxury, but rather a necessity. It powers our homes, businesses, schools, and hospitals. It fuels opportunity, underpins our social and economic well-being, and touches the lives of every Bermudian every single day. A modern, forward-looking electricity sector policy is therefore essential. It recognizes that energy is both technical and human, and that the way that we generate, regulate, and pay for electricity must reflect a national commitment to fairness, stability, and security of our island. Mr. Speaker, I wish to remind this Honourable House of the Energy Policy Steering Committee, which serves as our central advisory body to the Ministry on development of Bermuda's long-term energy strategy. The committee is a multi-stakeholder body comprising of representatives from key government departments, the regulated utility, industry experts, and organizations engaged in renewable energy, environmental stewardship, and energy sector innovation. Collectively, these members bring technical expertise, sector experience, and the voice of the consumers to the table, helping to ensure transparency, collaboration, and continuity in Bermuda's energy planning. Mr. Speaker, since my last statement in March 2025, the Energy Policy Steering Committee has continued its important work and has made several notable contributions. The committee has reviewed Bermuda's existing energy framework and assessed emerging global trends in renewable technology and grid management. It has examined affordability pressures faced by residents and businesses with a focus on long-term rate stability and assessed advances in solar energy, battery storage, distributed energy systems, and modern grid technologies. The committee has also provided guidance on resilience planning, including hurricane readiness and system reliability, and offered advice on Bermuda's low-carbon transition to ensure that environmental responsibility does not place undue burdens on ratepayers. Mr. Speaker, in addition to its ongoing advisory role, the Energy Policy Steering Committee has undertaken several key actions. These include supporting the gathering of information for a national green fund and discussions with presentation facilities by the Blue Planet Alliance, which explored possible fund structures, governance models, and international best practices. The committee coordinated stakeholder input by gathering and sharing contacts for discussions with entities such as the Connecticut Green Bank, enabling further exploration of legislative models and financing structures suitable for Bermuda. It has received and analyzed BELCO's presentation on the proposed integrated resource plan, providing technical and policy feedback, and which has informed the emerging direction of the national electricity sector policy. Furthermore, the committee has reviewed insights from the regulatory authority to ensure alignment between policy development, regulatory frameworks, and licensing pathways, and was formally consulted during the development of the revised policy for their comments and feedback. Mr. Speaker, progress is a moral measure. Social and economic justice are inseparable from good governance. Complex systems can improve, but only together. The revised national electricity sector policy is therefore designed to consider how each element and stakeholder of the system connects to and impacts a cohesive electricity sector. This evolution acknowledges that while we have pieces of a standards regime, we do not yet possess a complete modern standards framework for our energy chapter. And that is a gap risk undermining safety, quality, and consumer protection. An informed policy creates informed decisions and clear guardrails. Those guardrails protect households and give credible investors the certainty that they need to act. Mr. Speaker, the updated national electricity sector policy represents a major step forward in ensuring that Bermuda's energy future is guided by thoughtful, strategic policy grounded in affordability, resilience, and responsible governance. This work builds support upon the Electricity Act 2016, which establishes the overarching framework for the electricity sector and defines the roles of the regulatory authority, the utility, independent producers, and the government. Mr. Speaker, much has changed since the last policy was adopted in 2015. Global energy markets have shifted, renewable technologies have emerged, climate-related risks have intensified, and Bermudian families continue to feel financial pressures linked to fuel price volatility and inflation. We are rewriting priorities to reflect a simple truth in a modern Bermuda, that electricity, connectivity, and fair pricing are preconditions for dignity. I accept that the pace is not fast enough. The reality is that the structures and longstanding tendencies towards business as usual runs deep. In this context, the government has acted prudently to ensure that the updated policy responds to these realities and positions Bermuda to remain adaptable, secure, and forward-looking. Mr. Speaker, the renewed national electricity sector policy will establish a clear vision for 2045, aiming for a reliable, equitable, affordable, and low-carbon energy system right-sized for Bermuda. It will set benchmarks to safeguard a just energy transition framework, a framework that recognizes that our energy transition is not just about infrastructure and technology, but also about people. Bermuda does not yet have the workforce pipeline required for the energy transition. We lack enough trained electricians, solar installers, energy auditors, battery technicians, grid operators, and data specialists. The revised policy signposts our future needs to enable the workforce and supporting sectors and ministries to prepare for the complexities. Mr. Speaker, importantly, this policy acknowledges that before we mandate change at scale, it is essential that we equip Bermudians with these skills required. This reduces our reliance on external expertise and ensures that the benefits of the transition are retained on island. If we want lower bills and better service, we must prepare Bermudians to build and maintain the new systems that will make both possible. The renewed policy will therefore commit to empowering Bermudians through training, upskilling, and certification, and to strengthen cross-ministerial coordination, recognizing that this energy policy intersects with transport planning, building codes, finance, and the public. Mr. Speaker, the policy will provide clear direction for the integrated resource plan, requiring storage, resilience, and climate considerations as central components. It will ensure that distributed generation protects all households while enabling community solar, cooperative ownership, and low-income access to clean energy. It will establish transparent procurement rules that prioritize renewable bulk generation, diversify sources of supply, and encourage local participation. The policy will also advance grid modernization through smart metering and enhance grid management standards. Finally, it will align strategically with our national electric vehicle initiatives, recognizing that their ability to support tariff stability, improving systems efficiency, and facilitating greater integration of renewable energy. Mr. Speaker, the government has acted to modernize the national policy, ensuring that it reflects the realities, opportunities, and priorities facing Bermuda today. Several key developments shape this renewed approach. Rising concerns over affordability and cost of living demand refocus attention on long-term stability. Our residents and businesses need clarity, predictability, and genuine protection from undue financial burden. At the same time, the rapid evolution of solar energy, battery storage, and distributed energy resources and emerging technologies presents promising pathways for diversification and energy security if lowly integrated as our knowledge and viability in our context is confirmed. The increasing impacts of climate change require that our system be robust and resilient, able to withstand increasingly frequent and severe storms while safeguarding our community. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry intends to finalize the full national electricity sector policy by the end of 2025. At that time, it will be released for public consultation to allow residents, businesses, industry stakeholders, and all interested parties to provide feedback. While the policy itself does not amend existing legislation, it will form the foundation for future updates to the Electricity Act and associated regulations guiding investment, regulatory frameworks, and governance in the years ahead. Mr. Speaker, the government remains steadfast in its commitment to ensure that the electricity sector is fair, resilient, sustainable, and secure. This policy ensures that Bermuda's residents and ratepayers are protected, empowered, and positioned to benefit from the opportunities of a modern energy future. In closing, Mr. Speaker, I extend my thanks to the members of the Energy Policy Steering Committee under the chairmanship of the Director of Energy for the contributions they have made this year to progress the work of energy reform. I look forward to returning to this honorable House with a final policy following public consultation, confident that it will unlock the foundations of a stronger, fairer, and more resilient Bermuda. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.